Today I'm going to talk about a very interesting campaign that Edward Bernays ran out with the United Fruit Company in Guatemala. To understand a little bit more the situation that was happening at that time, we need some background. On one side, Cold War was happening. At that time, the United States made decisions on foreign policy with the purpose of fighting against communism. On the other hand, the United Fruit Company was an extremely powerful business for some of the South American countries, and had actually good connections with the governments who would support them. Guatemala was not the exception. In fact, it was one of the most important countries for the company, and since it was a very corrupt country with right-wing leaders, this made it even easier for the company to benefit. Plus, they didn't have to pay any taxes. Nevertheless, everything started changing when left-wing Democratic President Jacobo Arbenz came into power in 1950, where people started refusing to work and only 50% of the 550,000 of company-owned land in Guatemala was being cultivated, and of course, this started to create concerns for the company. However, their worries increased drastically when he passed the land reform legislation that would expropriate several 100,000 acres of uncultivated land owned by the company. At the same time, people of Guatemala started to believe that the corporation had prevented the country from gaining economic independence. Here's where Edward Bernays' campaign started. Basically, its campaign was done in order to link Arbenz as a growing communist threat for the country, because it was known that some of his close allies were communist, even though there was actually not communism activity at all in Guatemala. In order for this campaign to work out, they sent to Guatemala some of the most influential reporters from different magazines, such as the New York Times, US News and World Report, and the Christian Science Monitor, so that they could see the reality of things. The thing was that the United Fruit Company controlled the reporters' experiences and showed them what they wanted them to see, and not the reality of the things. At the end, and as a result, lots of articles were published exposing Guatemala's communism, where citizens started to feel afraid and being against Jacobo Arbenz' government. Nonetheless, this portrayed UFCO as a great influence against communism. However, in August 1953, the CIA started an operation codenamed PB Success, which took place 1 year later in 1954 and was led by Castillo Armas in order to overthrow the president Arbenz. In this mission, the CIA secretly trained and armed a group of 450 mercenary Guatemalan rebels. At the beginning, the mission wasn't successful, but as there were rumors that the American troops could make an invasion, many militaries and officials turned against Jacobo, and that's why he had to resign the presidency on June 27, 1954.